and they tell you to use that if you're going more than 100 miles per hour on a car or anything, because it mutes the sound a little bit too. Have you heard of that Strava, Dad? Mason's talking about?
Yeah, I told you about it. What's Strava? Strava is the thing where you track all your bike rides and get all the data from it and you compete against your friends.
You can get pretty competitive with Cernow and those guys.
Cernow's on it. I'm not interested. I've seen him.
You see leaderboards, or how have you seen them?
It's kind of like you didn't do the bike ride unless it's on there now, you know.
Gotcha. Do they actually claim that they're utilizing more GPS, or do they try and pitch reliability over other programs?
What do you mean?
So let's say Runkeeper and other cheapo apps are optimizing for battery and other things as well. Does Strava advertise?
They drain the GPS.
Okay. I don't know if they actually touted draining your battery as a feature.
No, they don't. It's not bad. Like a 3-hour bike ride will take 50% of my battery.
I saw that last article on Strava was the guys getting real competitive and people were dying or something, racing down some
idiots racing descent.
Yeah. Something about Lance Armstrong talking shit on there or something?
I don't know about that.
I thought he was in the forums.
I think he's got better things.
Yeah, I think he's got his tail between his legs right now.
Yeah, or it's probably supposed to fight out a bit.
Very pretty. Well, we can show Mom the video, and she can play back our conversation and everything.
Condo?
Condos.
Oh.
That's a pretty big bird right there.
I don't know what that is.
That just looks like a hawk.
No, it looks like a vulture, but it's a big one.
No, short neck.
No, hawks don't have that kind of wing shape. It's a vulture. See the arch in that wing? It's a vulture.
We'll check the video.
What's a vulture do? Just sit there in the air and just go around. And look, you'll see that little flash of red on the head? Look at the wing color. That's a vulture. No doubt.
What are those islands, Mace?
Fairlawn? Oh yeah. You see him over there. You can't.
Anything special about them?
I don't think so.
Well, they have like orgies out there or anything?
That's what I know of. Maybe.
Okay, so you want to figure out where all these California condors are? You'll see them sometime. They've got, like a 10-foot wingspan.
I don't know anything about it.
Oh, geez, and they've come back from extinction. what? They're very accessible.
How many days a week are you working out, Mace, biking?
Like 4, 5. I mean, the Equinox is pretty swanky.
That's a gym or a piece of equipment?
The gym.
Gotcha.
Like a really, really nice gym.
Gotcha.
4 or 5 days?
Yeah.
Right. Does that mean they like wipe the sweat off for you, or what are we talking
Pretty
here?
much. A lot of talent in there.
You done yoga class yet?
Yep. Everybody out here does.
You like it?
Yeah, I'll go once every week or so.
Did you ever hack your GS4?
GS4.
Galaxy S4?
I don't have an S4. I have an S3.
What? Did you ever hack it?
It is hacked.
What are you running right now?
Stuff you told me to.
Cyanogen?
Yep.
Loving it?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Nice.
Battery life is much better, and the integrated Wi-Fi is pretty good.
You know, if you haven't updated in the last month, they've done some huge updates.
I have not.
Huge. I think you might be able to get Android 4.4 on it right now. Better Bluetooth, better everything. I got the S4. The camera was pretty much why I did it. And then I frickin' dropped it and cracked the screen, so.
That sounds about right.
FML, yeah. Yeah, I bought one of those life-proof cases. I spent 90 bucks on this case, telling myself that gotta do it, you know, just gotta spring for this case. For the first 3 days, nobody could understand me. They're like, oh, really muffled, can't hear you. So I got so pissed off at this case, gave it to an employee. The next morning, I'm sitting in a chair from my pocket to the ground. Cracked.
I'll tell you, I bought a case just so I could put it on my road bike.
Nice?
And it stayed on the road bike on the handlebars for like half a dozen rides.
Yep.
And then I went out and bought this motorcycle in Sacramento, and I wanted navigation so I could get home.
Yeah.
And it survived a 2-hour ride. And as I got through the toll booth on the Golden Gate Bridge, it fell off.
Nice.
So I had to have the bridge guys, the like toll collector guys, get it for me.
Did the phone come out of the case, or the case just come off the bar?
The case unclipped from the bar.
A jumbo tree.
Wow. It was a hell of a tree.
I wonder what species he is.
Tree.
Tree?
Tree.
Conifer?
Pretty sure tree. Pretty sure conifer too. What brand case was it, Mace?
I don't know. Cheap. But
These big boys.
phone survived, but I will not be using that bracket anymore.
They make heavier duty ones. That's another thing you should have consulted Trevor for.
Boy, we got a nasty virus in our office.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it said, you know, pay money or you die. And,
Yeah, they call that ransomware.
Oh, like a computer virus.
Yeah.
And boy, it went around and killed a lot of our files. We finally got it cleaned up.
What the heck? Did you lose any data or was everything backed up?
We lost a lot of put in individual computers that were not that. Not the end of the world.
Did Atif get a spanking, or what happened there?
No, he's not working full time anymore. He's in Chicago now, so he's just kind of like a part-timer with us.
Alright, sport, right?
I just flew back from Michigan with a guy who works for Norton, and he was talking about all the crazy stuff they're doing and how that's such a huge deal. They call it ransomware,
Right.
where they get in you and then they'll give you this warning, and they usually do it for copyrighted software. You know, if kids download Photoshop or some high-value Windows, some high-value software, they say, we know this is illegal, pay this, or the FBI is coming to your house. And
Not
they
the manufacturers, right?
no, it's the Russians and the Chinese, and they make a ton of money off of people paying the ransoms. You know, if just 1% of these people pays, and the software, let's say Photoshop is $800 worth of software, they get these guys to pay $500, they're doing pretty well. And a guy just got it on his computer, sees this notice from the FBI, turns himself into the local FBI office for child porn, and the FBI had never heard of the guy, so he thought he was really, the cops were really on him.
Did they arrest him?
Oh yeah. I think when you walk into the FBI office and say, my name's Bob, you know about my massive kitty porn collection, you're not walking out of there.
You know who I am.
Yeah, come on!
I'm a big deal.
The computer! Helicopter's really ruining the tranquility for me.
Well, you are about 10 miles outside the major station. Yeah, there's a lot of mountain bikers around.
This would be a fun bike trail.
Supposed to be a couple of waterfalls on this one.
Now, is this true that it takes us in a circle?
Yeah, I think it's a clockwise loop. But we can always turn around over the block.
And look at that big boy there, too. Wow. Yep. Oh, gorgeous tree. Good tree house right in there.
I'm sure the park rangers would love that.
They would. You could pull up the rope and we can move it. From the mist of the ocean and the wind, or is it rainfall in here?
There's not a lot of rainfall during the summer and the fall.
Yeah, but you know, you could look at Hawaii, you could look at one mountain, and you can see a line where one half the mountain gets rain, the other half is dry. So is this area a little microclimate, getting a lot of rain?
There's microclimates everywhere. I don't know about here.
Well, it's possible then. Things are pretty darn green.
It only rains half the year. weather in San Francisco changes based on what neighborhood you're in.
Yeah, I believe it. Look at that beautiful pond. Gorgeous.
In neighborhoods it'll be like 45 and foggy, and some it'll be 65 and sunny on the same day.
Boy, this is spectacular. These have got to be redwoods.
I'm gonna get you a tree book, Dad.
I got one.
I'm gonna get you an app.
But I'll always take another one because I like to learn. Look at the size of these guys. Place close to Sacramento, I think it's Sacramento, called the Needles we used to climb. When we walk in a forest like this, the pine cones would be this big. They're so cool. Not any indication of pine cones here.
What else is north of us in California yet, Mace?
Really, just wine country, and that's about it. Not a lot of civilization in South Portland.
And what's the next big city south?
Well, there are a lot of there's like San Luis Obispo and Monterey and smaller coastal towns.
Gotcha. And how far of a drive is it to Los Angeles?